Welcome back to another video. In a previous video, we showed you guys already what animals we're sending to our overseas facility in Malaysia. So it would only be appropriate that today we show you what animals we're leaving behind and why. But before we get started with that one, I want to update you guys on the tentacled snakes. So we set up 2 tanks for the babies, and I moved all of the baby tentacled snakes into one tank, and I put all feeders in there, 20 red minnows, feeder fish in there, and I checked them periodically over the few hours, checked them the next morning, and I noticed that the fish, of course, were disappearing, and I took every baby out, and I could obviously see which of those snakes had fed, and then I moved them into another tank as feeders already eating. And so we had one snake only that held out for like one day, and all the others ate. So we had 13 that pretty much ate and cleaned it up right away. We moved them into the confirmed feeder tank, and then finally just now, the very last one finally caught the last of the fish. Now when we put a lot of fish in there, it's easy for those babies to feed because there's so much food. But obviously as the fish get consumed, there's less and less, and the ambush is a little bit more difficult. But anyway, 14 out of 14 feeding. We've already taken some deposits. We've already been paid on some, and we're already going to be shipping this coming week, but they're not completely sold out. I have some people that are expressing like an extreme amount of interest, but yet no money. Therefore, I'm not going to consider them sold just yet. The other 3 gravid females are still there, but they're looking really close. They're acting a little bit different. They just look very uncomfortable. And of course, like all live bearers and egg layers as well, the mass has moved right down to the vent, and they just look really uncomfortable. So every morning I come and I check, see if there's going to be more. But I have the tanks already set up for the babies, so we're good to go. So you guys, without further ado, let's get into it. What animals are we leaving behind in the US while we go overseas for our 9-month adventure? Let's do it. So the Antaresia papuensis, the Papuan spotted pythons, these are staying behind. We are going to try to do another 2 repeat pairings. Hopefully we'll get 2 clutches of eggs and they will join the babies. The babies we are also leaving here as well to grow and get more established, and then hopefully next summer when we come back, we will be able to add to the collection of babies and yearlings and 2-year-olds. And then I've been asked so many times, yes, I believe next year is when we're going to start selling offspring, and possibly even the project. I'm not really sure yet. We will decide as we go, but it's kind of like a legacy project. It's something that I'm really proud of. And we have these here, and we're having success. As you know, I think most of you guys are repeat viewers. You guys watch the channel. You already know the whole story. You already know all the progress that we're making. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So we do have the option to send these to Malaysia, but I'm not sure if it makes sense or not. Just have to kind of decide as we go. If I decide that I want to keep these around just as my pet project, then of course we will pull CITES paperwork and just export them to Malaysia. Because I am the importer of these, I have the original CITES paperwork for when I imported these, so the re-export shouldn't be too difficult. And to get CITES paperwork for the babies, I don't think will be too difficult also, because of course we have the parental stock here on hand, and I have all the documentation and proof that I hatched all of those babies. So we'll see how it goes, but that's quite an interesting fistful of snakes right there. Pretty rare stuff. Okay, let's move on. And Moluccan scrub python, this xanthic, we're going to hold on to it, and we're going to send it, I think, next year. I just got this snake not long ago this summer, and I need time to apply for export CITES. So I think we're going to probably handle that for next summer. We're going to send it out. I showed this snake, I think 2 weeks ago, and it was very unimpressive because it hadn't had its first shed yet. But now it is finally, he has had his first shed, and of course feeding amazing, but totally looks like a totally different snake. Before it was just super dark, and now you know, you're starting to see some pattern coming out and all that, and it is a very, very cool snake and wonderful demeanor. So I still have the Papuan water pythons here, the fuscus. I don't know what I'm going to do with these at this point. I really like them a lot, but I'm also at the same time trying to limit how big our collection is, especially the part of the collection that I leave behind here in the US for my family to take care of. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with these, but the females developed follicles earlier this year. And so our male was a little bit small. So I feel like moving them out at this time is probably the total like wrong time after raising these from tiny little babies. They're probably like just now ready for this upcoming season. But again, sometimes you just can't keep everything, you know, it just gets out of control and you just become a hoarder, and I don't want to be doing that. So we'll see what happens. I still have like a month to decide. So, and also for those of you that do watch the channel, you may remember our false water cobras that we imported from the UK. I'm not going to show them all, but they are getting quite big. This one happens to be a little bit more on the unique side. This is a UK hypo, but it also looks very, very different from the other ones that I have here. So these are going to be staying, going to be just eating and pooping the whole time that we're gone. And they eat a lot. They're really crazy eaters. For those of you that have these or have had these, you guys know, don't have to explain that to you. They are just voracious eaters. So they're growing really fast, and some of them are really, really interesting looking, such as this one. So they're going to hang out. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do next year. I don't know if they'll be big enough to breed next year. I don't know if I should keep them here or if I should send them to Malaysia and just work the project from over there. I'm not really sure. I know a lot of you guys ask me why Malaysia, and you know, you guys, some of you guys just kind of don't get it. Well, we live over there, so it's easier for us to keep animals close to home. We have a facility, we have staff, we have ready access to food and feeders and the whole thing. So it just makes more sense for us to keep animals over there. We can pull permits, we can pull export permits and export CITES and all that stuff. So that part isn't really a big deal. But I just figure having animals over there, it's just closer to home. It just makes more sense, and it's far less burden for my family and friends that help us out here. So and I think last but not least, my king rats. I have an adult pair here, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them. I don't know if I'm going to send them to Malaysia. I don't know if I'm going to leave them here and cycle them for a breeding attempt, or if I'm going to sell them. I just have no idea. I also have a different idea. We have a big expo in Kuala Lumpur in December, and there's a lot of people that are not into reptiles that are kind of fascinated, and they come, and it's a great opportunity for like ambassador animals like this to kind of do some public outreach and that sort of thing. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I have no idea. I have some king rats already over there, although they're not tame like this, but they're the same size, and I'm not sure if I need more or what. It's one of those dilemmas that we all go through as reptile keepers. What do we keep? What do we not? What makes the most sense? I have no idea. So with this animal, I think that's going to do it for the video. I hope you guys saw something cool and it was worthwhile listening to me ramble on, and at least you got to see something visually. So, all right, that's it. I think the next video, actually, I wanted to bring this up. I've already showed you what we're sending to Malaysia. Now I've showed you what we're leaving behind here in the US. And I think the next video probably makes sense to show you guys what we have left for sale. We don't have a lot left, but we're shipping every week, and we have a little bit left, some adults of some certain things, and some animals that I'm kind of like reluctant and kind of holding on to the bitter end. So we'll see, but I think that'll be next week's video. And that is it. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.